So in the big release of this week, giant Master Chief type Transformer Iron Man robots are called upon to fight giant beasts inside the Pacific Rim. That couldn't have come out any more wrong. Either way, here's my review for Pacific Rim. First heard of Pacific Rim, I wasn't exactly excited about it. I thought, it's just another sort of silly action movie with a lot of fighting and giant robots smashing up like whatever city it's set in. I still don't know what city it's set in, but wherever it's set, just giant robots smashing things up and just happen to be fighting monsters. But that's not how it plans out, it plays out, rather. But, I thought, it looks exactly like Transformers. It's just going to be another Transformers, silly action. But, it's not going to be, like, such a bad thing because Transformers, I don't hate. Like, even Transformers 2, a lot of people hate on Transformers 2. I think it's okay. So, I kind of like the silly action in it. But, I thought with Pacific Rim, it's just going to rip off Transformers and be stupid and, we're not going to need it. But Pacific Rim turned out to be a surprisingly good time and I really enjoyed it. Because the past sort of couple of weeks, I watched trailers and I was like, you know what, Pacific Rim does actually look pretty good, I'm actually getting kind of, looking forward to it, I'm quite looking forward to watching it. And I wasn't wrong to be looking forward to watching it because I did enjoy it. And I saw some reviews in papers and on YouTube and like, Rotten Tomatoes, it currently has like a 71% score, which is pretty good. And, I saw some really good reviews for it, so I was like, I think it might be a good film. Was I wrong? No, I wasn't wrong. It is a good film. The first sort of 5 minutes of Pacific Rim are really great, great action, just awesome. Like robots smashing up the monsters. Can't think of what they're called now. The robots are called the Jaegers, and the monsters are the Kaiju. That's it, the Kaiju. They're sort of fighting the Kaiju, and I just thought, they look like Transformers with Iron Man, chest piece and. Just like a mixture of Master Chief. Like, one of the robots looks exactly like if Master Chief took the Titan formula from Batman and turned into a Bane-type robot. That's what he looked like, And I thought, it would just, be exactly like Transformers and, stuff like that. Just, I've already mentioned that anyway. But the robots just look kind of unoriginal. But it was very original how they did it. Basically, the troops are inside the robot, and there's two of them having to control the two different sides of the robot, like, to fight these monsters. And basically, the plot, there's not much of a plot, but I'm just going to go through the plot now. The plot is that, basically, deep down, like, under the water, the Pacific Rim, which is probably the worst name you could call it. But, let's not talk about the name here. Who cares what the name is? Rim. Yeah, anyway. The Kaiju are under the Pacific Rim. And basically these troops have to go inside these big robot suits, and basically the tagline for this is to fight monsters, we created monsters, which is what they do. They create these big robots called the Jaegers, and the troops fight the Kaijus, and that's pretty much it. It's just troops fighting Kaijus. And there isn't much more plot to that. There is sort of subplots in it, but some of the subplots are kind of unneeded and kind of annoying. Like there's this scientist played by Charlie Day from Horrible Bosses. And there's this other scientist, like Charlie Day was fine in this movie, but this other scientist, I don't even know who plays him, but I swear to God he is so annoying. Like, his voice, everything, I swear that's not even his real accent, but whatever, he is just the most annoying person to put in, an action film. And so that kind of annoyed me, the little subplots. And there's this guy called Hannibal Chow who looks exactly like Boris the Animal from Men in Black 3, I swear, check out this. You see what I mean? Anyway, he was kind of wasted in this movie because, like, he's in the movie quite a bit, to start off with, and you think, he's going to be a sort of main character. And then he's sort of, like, I'm not going to tell you what happens to him, but he just disappears, and you're like, what? Is that it? I thought he was going to play a big part in this, but he doesn't. So, he was kind of a wasted character, and I don't even know who plays him. I'm pretty sure it's not the guy that plays Boris the Animal, who I still can't think the name of, but whoever it is, he could have done a good job with this, but he was like taken from the movie way too quickly. So that was kind of an annoying thing, and the subplots were kind of annoying. Like the whole scientist thing, we kind of did need it because it's sort of, I won't tell you why because it'll ruin the movie for you, and then I'll have to make this a spoiler review, which I don't want to do because spoiler reviews, I don't really want to make them because people don't watch them as much because they have to wait till after they've seen the movie. So I'm going to make this a spoiler-free review. I may make a spoiler review because it probably would be worth making a spoiler review for this movie, but at the minute this is a non-spoiler review. So yeah, he was taken pretty quickly, and the subplot. Oh wait, I wasn't talking about Hannibal thingy anymore, was I? I'm talking about the subplots now, and the subplots. One of the subplots is kind of needed, but there's like other subplots which are just like that could have been taken out, and the movie could have been shortened a bit because, like as I've mentioned, the first 5 minutes are really good action, and the movie just slows down. Dialogue. There was this cool fight scene between that one Japanese chick and the main guy, who I don't still know the name of, but they're both the pilots of Gypsy something. The main robot who was shown on this poster, there, got it lined up. The what was it? Gypsy Danger. That's it, Gypsy Danger. They're the pilots of Gypsy Danger, and they're having this cool fight scene, which it was cool, but kind of it could have been done without. But it kind of, the chick who's fighting the main guy, who he's introduced in the first sort of 5 minutes with that fight scene I was talking about. He's in that fight scene. But when they're fighting, I kind of thought, when I was watching it, I thought that could have been cut out. But then I thought again, the fight scene is kind of to prove that the girl can be, a pilot for the Gypsy Danger Jaeger. So, it was kind of cool to see that. But when it slows down with the scientist stuff and that, you're just like, come on, more action. But when the action comes, it hits you straight away, and you're like, this is one of the greatest action movies ever. It's not one of the greatest action movies ever. You just think because the action is like so good, and the acting, the acting isn't that great. But I can see what Guillermo del Toro. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. I'm sorry, but I don't know. I know what he was trying to put into this movie, like what he was trying to put across in this movie. He was trying to say this is a B movie, right? This isn't going to be one of those big Hollywood. Well, it is a big Hollywood, but I mean, it's not going to be one of these sort of serious movies. It's not going to take itself seriously. It's a B movie, but with A movie sort of special effects, which I really liked. The dialogue cheesy. The acting isn't the best you could get. But Idris Elba's great in this movie. He's great in every movie he's been in. So that's good. He is a great actor. But I can see that it was sort of they were trying to make it into a B movie with A movie special effects, which was pretty cool. And in the last sort of, let's say, half an hour, the action just kicks in and you're like, this is awesome. And you remember that 40-minute fight scene in Transformers Dark of the Moon? It's like that, but like, because when I first saw the action, I was like, it's going to be like that Transformers fight scene, but extended to 2 hours long. And I thought, it could get repetitive, it could get boring. Well, not boring, because I didn't see myself bored in any part of this movie. Even all the dialogue stuff that I talked about, I wasn't bored at any point. And I thought, it's just going to be a big action spectacle, which probably wouldn't be a bad thing. And it wasn't a huge action spectacle, which you see from the trailer, but it is a huge sort of action movie. And the action scenes that we see are some of the best in cinema in the past few years. Like, forget Man of Steel, forget Iron Man 3. The action in this movie just knocks them all out. Apart from Into Darkness is still the best movie this year, and no one will take that away from me. Anyway, what I was saying about the action is just that, you won't get tired of seeing a Kaiju, hit a Jaeger with like a telephone pole. Like, you'll never get bored of that. You won't get bored of the action. You'll just be sitting there on the edge of your seat like this, like I was. I was honestly like that. I loved it so much when the action took place. So yeah, I'm just gonna say this right here. If sort of it didn't slow down and sort of it didn't get boring, but it just got you just can't help but think, where's the action? So if it didn't slow down partway through the movie, I would have given this movie 5, and I'm being honest with that. But because it slowed down a bit, I'm gonna give it a 4 and a thumbs up. But that's not a bad thing, because 4 stars is honestly good, and I've only ever given 2 movies 5 stars, and they really deserved it. This one would deserve it, but it's not what am I trying to put across? Like, the action isn't always there, which is kind of good because you don't want action all the time. But you know, I probably would have given it 5 if we had that, because you know you can't fault it for that. So yeah, have you seen Pacific Rim yet? What do you think? Are you going to see it? If you haven't, let me know what you thought of it. If you've seen it, let me know. You know whether you think it's good, bad, all that sort of stuff, just normal stuff. And remember, as always, subscribe and like. Thank you for watching my video. Goodbye.